If you'd like to take a sip of that water,
Yeah.
you're welcome
I'm
to do
grateful
that.
for it. Thank you so much.
I find it interesting that you say that you used to own a business here at Simosan.
We were renting both places with my ex-husband. The top shop was, that time, remember, there was no tailoring, and we used to do overalls to send to Zimbabwe. And then downstairs, it was just for dresses.
Wow.
And that's just after we were actually the first tenants to be here.
Wow.
My husband and your dad were very, very good friends. So every time you could want something, you come to your dad.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that time it was okay. Very, very.
Amazing. Amazing. And then do you often come to this area?
What brought me here, it's because of you. I haven't been here in a long time. Usually I'm this side. You know, Kasupe side. But it's what brought me is you who brought me here. Because I was just telling the lady at the reception, I said, God, she says, what is it? She saw me talking to myself. I said, this is the last place. Lord, if I won't get anything from here, then I'm no more going to even report anything. I'll just keep quiet and leave kids to do what they want. Then she says, are you talking to me? Then I said, it's some issue. I think I'm waiting for Mr. Mwewa. But I've called him, he's not picking. So it's what you brought me here.
Okay, well, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you.
Let's begin. Hello, guys. I'm with Rosemary. Now, please tell me how to pronounce the last name.
HOARE. We pronounce it as HOARE.
HOARE.
Yeah, it's supposed to be HOARE.
HOARE.
Yes, HOARE.
I think that to me sounds more accurate.
It does.
HOARE sounds more accurate than HOARE.
Yeah, but people couldn't pronounce it. Some used to say HOARE and what, so we say HOARE. So it's just to cut it short.
Is that a common, I don't think I've ever met a HOARE before here.
It's actually not a really common name. Yeah, it's from Ireland. My grandfather was from Ireland, so he was Irish. Yeah, but my father was born in Eastern Province, so he still carried the name. Okay. And I still use my maiden name.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, hey, guys, I'm here with Rosemary HOARE. I would say HOARE. HOARE. And this, as you know, is Mr. Keith Mukata's mother-in-law. Let's go back to the beginning. We all know that this story, this tragic story, is a story of a young lawyer that was caught and embroiled in an issue of murder, sent to prison, and he was married, or still is married, to your daughter. What is your daughter's name?
Mariko HOARE.
Mariko HOARE.
Yes.
Right. And how long was Keith and Mariko? How long were they married before this murder case came up?
Now it's about 10 years together, 10 to 11 years.
So they were married, and then we all know the story. It's in the public domain. There was a case of murder. A guard was killed in a very tragic set of circumstances. Keith was sent to prison. Then he was released. And then we began to hear in the press, we began to hear on social media that they wanted to get a divorce. Who wants the divorce? Is it Keith who wants the divorce? Is it your daughter Mariko who sought and filed for divorce? Who filed for divorce?
Actually, Mariko did file for the divorce, but before then, at many occasions, separate occasions while he was in prison, he approached me and he told me, he says, Rose, Mom, I would like to go through a divorce because when I come up from here, I don't want to be with Mariko. Reasons he never mentioned. So I took it at ease. I thought, oh, maybe it's something because he's in prison, he's not going to come out. So I said, okay, if you actually asking for that divorce, why don't you go ahead with it? Send your lawyers to Mariko and tell them that you want a divorce. So he saw it that on my way, he couldn't take it that way. Until now, when he came out of prison, it became worse. We were expecting him.
What became worse?
over the same divorce, and then the fighting and the things that used to take place at home. At one point, it was even that kids sent cutters to beat up my daughter right at the gate where the issue was reported. And then he could send his workers to turn against her, the security guards to turn against her. And all this I'm saying, it's not that I wasn't there. I was watching what was taking place. So then when he came out, that's when Mariko says, Ma, this thing is going too far. This man wants a divorce. I said, but before divorce, isn't there separation? He says he's claiming that because he was in prison that we've separated. I said, how possible can that work? So then I told her, I said, if you feel him because it's what you're going through, the best thing you do, my girl, is just go ahead, because you can't be fighting, pulling each other for property, for house, and for the kids. And where I saw it was becoming worse, it's when he took the kids. He sent social workers home, cheating that there were social workers. He took the kids from there without my daughter even knowing. She comes back from town. She finds the house is locked up, these guards put there. So I told her, I said, but then what are you fighting for? Just go ahead with the divorce. So from that time, since this divorce issue has been coming on, there's been a lot that has been taking place.
Let me tell you what we're reading on social media, and then sort of, give us your view of the information we have. Mm-hmm. On social media, it's being reported that your daughter was pregnant while Keith was incarcerated. And the story in the press is that he denies that because the system didn't allow conjugal visits or conjugal rights. Your daughter, according to what we're reading in the press, your daughter maintains that Keith is the father to her child. Can you bring us up to speed? Is your daughter pregnant? Does she have the child? If she does have the child, how old is the child? Give us a clear picture of all of that.
Okay. No, she's not pregnant. But she has a son, Asha. He's 3 years old now. Yes, he's the father of the child. And why I say so? Because with my visits in Kabwe at Mukaweko, actually Kit is the one who brought it up and said, do you know that your daughter is pregnant? Because we don't live in the same towns. And I said, pregnant from who? Then he says, from me. Then I said, oh, wow. I am yet to visit Lusaka and find out. But
so he told you that your
himself.
daughter was pregnant and that he was the father?
Yes, that he was the father. Then
so the issue then is not that she's currently pregnant.
No, she's not
the
currently
issue is she was pregnant and
yes.
she's had the child. And
yes.
the child now is how old?
3 years old.
3 years old.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's how after I learned it from him. Then I got in touch. Then she says, oh yes, I was keeping it a secret because of media and stuff like that. Because that was a year after he was already incarcerated. So I said, okay, keeping it away from media. But then I said, but how are you keeping it from media? Because you're still visiting the prison. Then she says, yes, I have to consume. Who's going to tell? It's only the people in the prison who know. But to family, we had already known. And because we thought there was rights in the prison that she could still commit, because I was one of the witnesses who could travel with her. She would spend some time with him and go back until the later stage when she gave birth.
So then why is the media reporting that he denies that he's the father? Why are they saying that?
I don't know. Media's media, they'll say anything. But I'm the mother to her. And if he does deny, there's DNA he can go for to prove it. Because that's what I would tell media, to say, let him go for a DNA test. And then after that, and the child looks exactly like him. How would he deny a child going to visit him in prison with the mother? Because she could take the kids to come visit until at the later stage, she saw that it wasn't good for them because they kept asking her a lot of questions. At one point, she also said, Mom, I'm done with prison. I'm no more going to visit kids because each time I go there, I find groups of women and stuff like that. So I don't want to be intimidated. I said,
which women?
Women visiting him at the prison. It was his place, so anybody could visit at any time, be with him. So she felt that uncomfortableness. Then I told her, I said, no, if you feel that way, it's rather you leave. And because even while he's visits in prison, I've been with my daughter because I had to go and comfort and help her looking after the children. And you get calls from kids calling her, giving her names. That's my property. This is my this is my that. Let my workers do what. I said, this is becoming too much. Not until one point now, when property was being taken by guards, who said Keith used to call them from prison to move property like building stuff and all. Mariko will go to the police stations. I don't know how many police stations she's been to.
Mariko is the name of your daughter.
Who is the name of my daughter?
And that's Keith's wife.
Have the issues reported. From that time, nothing will be taken. All mommy have reported this. The time even when these cadres, who are here is Muchi, which I also had a conversation with the same officer over the same case. He says to me that matter was finished. After she was ambushed by the gate, beaten up by the same cadres in a Corona, after driving off, she took and told the police, that was Central Police, telling them that I've seen the person who did this and took documents from me.
Let me back you up a bit there, bring you back up. You said your daughter was attacked by cadres.
Yes, by cadres.
Why?
Apparently what happened, according to my daughter, there was documents for some property that my daughter had acquired from this Muchi family.
From which family?
From the Muchi, they call them the Muchi family.
Right.
And it's like the lady and the man were going through a divorce. So after Mariko had visited Keith, that time he was at Chimbokaila, she told him, says, oh Keith, there's people who are selling property. Are you interested? Because these people are going for a divorce, so they say we buy. But before then, Mariko had already acquired 2 hectares of, no, 2 acres. This is Lusaka, sorry, of the land. Now these people came back to Mariko and said, but since you've taken the 2 acres, why don't you finish the rest of the land? Then she says, for me now,
when you say finish the rest of the land, what do you mean?
Meaning to say she buys all the land.
She buys the rest of the land.
So it must be one property.
Right.
So then Mariko says, no, the best thing you do, let's meet up, we can meet Mr. Mukata at Chimbokaile, then we speak about it because he's the one with the money, not me. That's how they went. And then Mr. Mukata told them, says, no, don't worry, I'm going to give the money to my wife, but the land will be hers. It's a gift for her. So that's how she acquired that land.
Did he give her the money?
Yes, he did.
So she bought when Keith gave her the money, when Keith gave Mariko, his wife, the money, she bought that land.
Yes, she bought that land.
And did she have title to that land?
Yes, she had. All documents were put under her. So immediately after that was done, I don't know, after about a year or so, Mariko decided now she wants to take it in for complete title, the other piece of land. So she called in the same lady. Oh, Mrs. Muchi, please, can we meet with your husband? Because I want you guys to come. I want to finish up with ZRIA so that we can do our documents and stuff. Yes, during that same process, they did meet. This Mrs. Muchi, gave the direction to where Mariko must meet her and sign up that deal. So after they finished, that's when Mariko decided to drop the same husband to this woman. And then he's the one who wanted Mariko to say, be careful. Keith and my wife are conniving. So with whatever...
Keith and
his wife, Mrs. Muchi. They've connived over this issue. So be careful. I'm not in this. That's how he just told Mariko, I'm not in this. So after she dropped him off, she went home. She was with the children in the car, around 7, about 19 hours. When she got to her front gate, she had found there was a Corona parked in front with the boot opened. So she thought, oh, maybe they've made a mistake. They've just pushed it to side of her gate. So she hooted, and then she says, excuse me, hi, is there anything wrong? Do you need any help? That's how she saw these people come out of the car.
Who are these people?
She didn't know by then. That's how they dragged out of the car. They fired 2 shots on the air, and they kicked her and beat her up. The lady, the same Mrs. Muchi, is the one who was wearing the wood, is the one who got exactly where Mariko had put the documents. Took them out in her eyes and she cut. But now she didn't think that time it was that. She thought these robbers wanted the car. So she says, take the car. But please, could you kindly give me my children? But it was already too late. That didn't even take place. A few minutes later, after those people drove off, she received a call from Mugobe prison, from Mr. Mukata, to say, oh, you think because I'm in prison, I don't have the upper hand. You see what I can do.
So stop there. So you're saying Keith, after this incident,
yes,
after your daughter was attacked by this group of guys,
yes,
okay, and one of them had a gun that they fired a shot in the air, beat her up, got those documents,
yes,
tore them up, and then a while later, Keith Mukata called your daughter,
yes,
saying
Have you seen what I can do? It doesn't mean that because I'm in prison I can't do anything.
So you're saying Keith sent those people?
Who else would have sent them? Because according to, I'll bring it.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, according to, because just soon after that, and then she received that. Now, when she got to the guards to say he should open the gate, and then she forced her way to say, open the gate, you've seen what has happened to me. The guard responds, says, what did you want me to do? Did you want me to get killed? I listen to the boss. I don't listen to you.
So I just want to give the viewers a clear picture of what's
Yes.
going on. So the house
Yes.
belonged to Keith and your daughter. Okay? This was their house.
This is their
And
house.
this
yes.
incident happened in front
In
of
front
their
of
house.
their house,
So
yes.
the guard, after these thugs left, your daughter was asking the guard why he didn't act or help.
Yes.
And you're saying the guard responded by saying,
He said to her, he says, did you want me to get killed? I listen to my boss, I don't listen to you. That's how she decided now to take the matter to one of the police stations, which is, what's this one called? I've just forgotten. The police. She
and
gave her-
the boss being Keith. So the
Yes.
guard was saying, I listen to Keith,
my boss.
my boss,
That
I
was-
don't listen to you.
I don't listen to you.
Right.
Because he's the one who's employed me.
Let me ask you, why do you think Keith is doing all of this? Why? Because it seems to me, from what you're describing to me, what I'm hearing is that Keith wants to make his wife's life miserable.
Oh, yes.
Why? Why would he want to do that?
What I feel, Mr. Mwewa, to be very, very honest with you, because looking back and seeing what Mariko
Yes.
is going through, he didn't expect her to apply for that divorce. And the thing, early what he did was to take the children because he doesn't want to share no property with her. To what I've seen now, is reached that stage where he wants to really damage and destroy her. In a sense, where he feels he still has that upper hand. Okay? He doesn't want to share nothing with her. In spite of them being together, having 4 children, as I can count now, he just feels that it would be an easy way for him to do what he feels he can do. Because what I see as the mother to Mariko, is that where Keith has reached this time, he still feels he has the upper hand. Like I say, this didn't just start now. It started while he was in prison. I won't talk about the past because let me bring it to where it is now. Where we could take the matters to the police stations. There's been files opened. There's the women's clinic where the abuse has been taking place. But now we've reached a point that everything is reported to the police. Nothing has been done. No arrest has been made. I've been there myself where police turn against me, chase me out of the police station and tell me they know their duties. Where I've witnessed in this incident where he spoke about, they brought up this case where Mariko had stolen one of Kitty's cars. This is Matero Police. I was in the police car.
So you're saying Keith accused his wife
Yes.
of having stolen one of his cars?
One of his cars.
Did she do that?
No, she didn't. And that's proof. She didn't, because if she had stolen those cars, when I jumped in with the police, because right at the Matero police station, she was asked, where is the car? She says, actually, it's the bus. My husband bought it for me before he even went into prison. That's the one I used to deliver my jumping castles. That's the job I'm doing. That's the business I'm doing. So they said, no, we want to see where the bus is. We drove. I was one of them sitting behind the Land Rover for the police with some police ladies and officers. We got to the house in front of them in the car park. That's where the bus was parked. They said, oh no, can we have the white book? The white book was given to them, which is in Mariko's name. After that, we go back to the police station, park the bus there. Up to today, the bus is still there.
At the police station?
Yes, at the police station.
Do you think that the police are siding with Keith?
Oh yes, that I can say. You can see it, because I was thinking now, because everything has changed with the government and all. But there's some police that you can see, Mr. Mwewa, when you go into the police station. You have to hear 2 sides of the story. But me as a mother, see my daughter almost going behind bars. And I asked the officers, what are you locking her up for? What has she done wrong? Get her from here and all. Which I had to face one of the officers in charge. I asked them direct in his face. I said, have you been sent by Mr. Mukata to do all these things? Because I know the character of Mr. Mukata. So you chasing me out of the police station. What do you want to lock my daughter? The bus is here. The guard you say that she beat up, it hasn't been here. And that day, Mr. Mwewa, we were at the police station from 14 hours until 22 hours. The children were in the car. The other one wasn't even picked up. Kitty's driver, Matthew, had to bring her around 21 hours. The teacher kept calling Mariko and saying, where are you? The child is here. It's something, again, Keith had plans with the teachers, knowing the fact that Mariko is being apprehended by the police. And then the daughter comes and says, Granny, where is Mom? I said, I don't want to tell her that. Oh, she's in the police. And then I come in. So what I thought of doing was call the media houses. I said, you guys come and see what is happening. I don't even know why my daughter has been kept in the police station. They say that there's a police report on the assault of the guard. The guard is not here. There's no police report. There's nothing to prove that this guard was hit by her. And it's like the story is all going to back to the police. So that's when 22 hours we leave. The following day they tell us to go 10 o'clock. They keep us again the whole day. Because now that I brought media houses there, to give the side of the story, I said, there's nobody. We've been voicing this thing out to police stations. Nothing is working out for us. So what do? Let me call media houses, which of course. I was interviewed. I even told the media houses, everything is inside here. I don't even know why they're keeping my daughter. She's the one who takes care of the kids. After kids went into prison, she's been with the kids. Not even one day did she even get any kid hearing that the kids were sick. But today is finding faults. And then I said to Mariko, I said, but Mariko, how far is this going to go? We've reported these things to all. And I've got everything, even speaking to the officers. I've got full proof with me. The police places we've been going. So, Mr. Mwewa, where is it that you report an issue? They see, and they even tell you that they've investigated. But you've been with the police the whole day. What have they investigated? So are they doing their job, or they're listening to kids with the upper hand? Do they still think that is in the high rank? No, it doesn't work that way.
How many kids did they have together?
They have 4, 2 girls, 2 boys.
4 children together?
Yes, Liseli.
Tell me about when Keith was first released from prison. What was the family situation like there? When he was finally released, did he go back and start living with your daughter? What happened there?
Keith has never been home, Mr. Mwewa. The time she heard that he was being released, she prepared the lunch for him, got the kids ready to wish him welcome back home. It went out up to date. The only time you see Mr. Mukata home is after that time, before he locked up all the doors and changed locks and changed the security guard. He would sneak in when Mariko is taking her school rounds. He would sneak in with police from Atero. I don't know to do what around the house or whatever. And then one day, his son, Abraham, said, Granny Rose. I said, yes. He says, oh, I want to try and call my mom. Are you with my mom? Because my dad has come here with police people. And when the boy went out, he says, the dad was shocked. You here? Since yesterday I didn't go to school because I don't have a uniform. You see, that was in front of the police and social workers. And then he called his mom. Then she called me, says, Ma, have you heard something? And the workers are not telling me anything here. That kid comes here most of the time when I'm going out. I said, they won't tell you because even from before they've told you that the owner of the house here is Kid. You're not in charge of anything. So what would they tell you? Not.
So you're saying that even the people that worked at the house, they would say to your daughter that you're not the owner here.
Yes, in front of me even.
That they don't receive instructions from Keith, his wife. They only receive instructions from Keith himself.
Yeah.
So the gardeners, the guards, everybody, they only receive instructions from Keith. So the question then is, your daughter was living in that same house?
In the same house. That was a maternal home where she was living with Keith, even when they got married.
But he never went back to that house after being released?
No, never up to date. Only to date after he locked up and chased her out of the house and took the kids to live with his sister. That's when he's been seen. That's when he's present at the house. He's never been home.
Who does he live with now?
Somebody says he lives with Charmaine because right now he's living with a woman. His driver just confirmed with me to say he doesn't like the woman he's living with.
Who's the woman?
Charmaine. Charmaine, the same one he was
The lady that was the lady that was co-accused.
present. Yes, co-accused.
So he's living with her.
He's been living with her ever since he left prison. He's been living with her. That's why he was fighting for that home, to get it locked up, remove the kids from there. But actually his children, he's taken them. They're living down in Kasupe by his sister. He got them away from my daughter because he wanted the house. And then that's how he changed all the locks and got her out from there.
What do you suppose is the purpose of all of this? Why does he do what you say that he's doing? Why is he doing all of this?
Well, in the beginning, okay, first is property. He doesn't want to share her with completely nothing.
So
Because-
she's filed for divorce.
Yes, she filed.
And then and you're saying that he's taking her through this because ultimately what he wants is to not have to share any of his property
yes,
with her.
Yes, that's the main issue. And by him also taking the children. Imagine, Asha is only 3 years old and Lana is only 4. They follow each other like this. How do you take a child from the mother? All these 4 years, Kit has been in prison. Do you know, I can't say things in public. It will look like I'm trying to favor. But me as a parent and family and friends and outside, they know so much that, you know how many times people pleaded to say, get your daughter out of there. Take her out of that home. That is not a person to live with. And Mr. Mwewa, what I believe is when you're in prison, how do you get hold of a phone? Because he had that freedom. He could even call me. Tell me a lot of, okay, about my daughter. He would say this and say that. He had so much freedom for him to call his guards to find out what time she's coming in, what time she's going out. Even me as a parent, the guard would stop me from entering the yard. No, Bwana Kamba, ni nyumba ya Bwana. I said, but my daughter lives in this house. Why doesn't he call me and tell me not to come to this place? If there'll be a breakdown, any member of my family who want to go and touch on the cars and what, tomorrow morning they'll be accused or they've stolen this property. You know, it was, I don't know, to a point where it has reached with kids that nobody can understand him. Should I blame the prison that he wasn't taken care of? Or maybe that's the person he is. That's what we've seen in him today. So, what can one say? But me, the thing is that I fear for Mariko's life.
Mariko, your daughter.
Yes.
Where is she now?
I can't say, Mr. Mwewa, because at many other times, even when she wanted to get home at one point, she was reminded not to get home because Keith wanted to lock her up. Because his saying was that let her feel how prison is. But lock her up for what? But now I understand. Because he has an upper hand with Matero police station. Now what I saw yesterday, he's also got an upper hand with the Brooms police station, Bob Brooms. Why I say so? The same officer who locked Mariko up in Matero. Actually, I found him there yesterday. Because right now, Mr. Mukata has locked in-laws up. And if one asks, how did he lock them up? Apparently what happened, my daughter is having a case on Monday at court. So she just wanted a photo of the front gate of their house.
The house that they lived in
That
together.
They, yes.
Their matrimonial
Not,
home.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So my Sebele, who is also a mother-in-law, went there and took. And then apparently that's how the guards saw and told Mr. Mukata while he was inside. I don't know what he was doing in that yard. And said, oh, boss, there's people taking photos outside. That's how he says, call them in. And when they came in, he even greeted them nice because their mother-in-laws were related. And
They knew each other.
Yes, they knew each other.
Keith knew this
Yes,
person.
he knows this old lady.
Yes.
So she even says openly, no, Mariko actually has sent my daughter, but my daughter asked me to come and take the pictures. The photo, just she wanted the photo of the gate, the frontage of the gate. Oh, is that so? Little did she know that Keith had already called one of the security companies and the police from Brooms, Bob Brooms. So that she was shocked. Now, on him, he says, oh, have you seen? These are the same people who want to come and kill me and blah, blah. He doesn't explain that I know them. These are a family. And 1, 2, 3, I just hear a call. Now to my daughter-in-law. Oh, my daughter, this is what has happened. So Mukata, atipeleka ku police station. Where? Bob Rooms. Sekelela Road. I said, okay. We followed. We got there. I found Mr. Mukata there. All on top of his voice. Making the police look so small and everything. So I don't know, just by a He turned and he wasn't too sure if it was me or it was Mariko. So when he saw there was silence for almost 15 minutes, the police can bear me witness. Then he says, oh, I need to go. So I had to give him space, being a son-in-law. And I walked out of the police and he just walked, he went. When I got in, I said, oh, Bona officer, I want to know why you've kept these people here. Says, oh no. The lady officer says, oh no, madam, you can find out from. So I said, well, what went wrong? She says, no. What happened, since your daughter had sent me, I took a photo of the gate. That's why I was called by Mukata into the yard. He's the one who went going round now, taking with the same phone photos and everything. 1, 2, 3, we just saw police, and then we saw the security company. So this is why we are here. I said, then I spoke to the officer. I said, but these are not even outside of Mr. Mukata. These were just outside. They weren't even, if you call in a criminal trespass, were they in the property? But the way the officer answered me wasn't in a good way. He says, oh, you don't remember me. I'm the officer who was handling Mariko's case, and I know the problem you are. I said, no. I've got the right to find out. Because this is my family. I've got the right to find out. And Mariko is not an outsider. Mariko is Kitty's wife. They're still married.
So legally they are still married?
They're still married, yes. He wanted to break it off to say, because he was in prison, they've divorced. He puts it that way as a lawyer. I don't know. But what I know, that they're still legally married.
And the child that is in question, that is his child.
It's his child.
All the children that Mariko bore are his.
Yes, all 4 of them. Even Asha, if you go to the clinic where he was born, he's got Asha Mukata. His kid is the one who paid everything, even the nurse and everything, to take care during her pregnancy and after the pregnancy. If you go to a Pearl of Health, they'll tell you everything. So where does it make a difference that to say now, why is he saying it's not his child? Is he trying to look for an excuse because he's living with another woman before his divorce? Is he trying to shade we family? To say, no, listen, I divorced Mariko a long time. It's not that. There's proof, there's so much that I don't even know what to tell the public.
So, because when you came to me, you were telling me this very horrible, complicated story of how your family feels that you're not being heard and your complaints are not being are not being acted upon by the authorities, by the police. Do you feel that there is an element of injustice in the manner in which the police are handling your case?
There's a lot of injustice, that I should say. I can't lie about it because, to be honest, it's not good for me to talk about the current government. But you see, it's like we all know that since the new government is in, at least a lot of things have changed, freedom of speech and all. That's why I'm even on, if it was that government, I don't think Mr. Mwewa would be here, because I would have found something happening to me outside. But now I have that freedom, knowing the president of the day won't tolerate rubbish. But to be very honest, I was thinking that if you weren't going to take this interview, Monday, I should have made an appointment with seeing the Minister of Home Affairs and the IG. That's how far I wanted to go. But I thought the best thing for me is to put it on air, that everybody listens to this. Because I can't be a mother seated, scared of somebody who was in power some time back, giving threats to the family, swearing us at what time he wants, sending police. Why is Mariko in the hiding?
So right now your daughter is in hiding?
She's been in hiding since it's come out. From the time he removed her from the house, because of all those threats. She doesn't know who to trust. We called one man of God, Mr. Sikazwe, who is Kitty's spiritual father. Okay? He lives in Chilanga. Many other times, we spoke about this divorce and all, where I even met up with him. But you know what he did at one point? He calls me and Mariko to make a meeting. He says, no, because Mom, I need to hear from you. Mariko needs to leave the house. You know the temper that Kitty's got, in case you end up going back to prison again and all. I said, what temper? You want Mariko to leave the house with the children so that Kitty comes back to the house? Says, no. Can you talk to Mariko if she can go ahead and say, yes, she's been divorced with Kitty for 2 years? I said, then that's a lie. You want to make it look like Mariko has divorced Kit because he's in prison, and then everything turns against Mariko? No, and you plus you're a man of God, Mr. Sikazwe. You cannot do that.
So he was, this spiritual father,
Yes.
Keith's spiritual father,
Yes.
was trying to manipulate.
Yes, he was trying to manipulate it. Because that's the only source Kit could use to speak to me. Because every other person Kit told to speak to me, I never gave them a chance. Because Kit was always trying to look for the fault in Mariko. Any little thing he'll make, even in the prison, if I'll be seated there, he wouldn't care who's ever sitting there. He would just, where you feel embarrassed, you put your head down. Where you could speak so ill about the family. I'm sorry to say this, but I think, let me just bring myself out here, because I know the kind of person we're dealing with here. And then I said to Mr. Sikazwe, I said, now you saying we meet with you? Yes, Mom, Mariko, listen, can you? And on top of it, a man of God, Reverend Sikazwe, he's recording everything, because each time we had any meeting with him, he'd send it to the prison to Kit. And then at one point I even said, my God, I just wish this man doesn't come out of here, because the pain he's causing my daughter is exceedingly, and I can't take it anymore.
So the pain he was causing your daughter,
yes,
while behind bars,
would
increase if he came out.
Oh yes, it has.
And it has increased.
It has. There's no safety, Mr. Mwewa. Even for Mariko to walk on the streets, there's no safety. Because it's capable of doing anything. For me to be on media, meaning what? I failed the police. Who are the helpers for us? I've even told the officer, even last night, innocent people getting locked up by Keith. And the police allows that. Criminal trespass. He's trying to read caps for me. He says, no, in this cap. I said, no, it's not a cap. Were they in the yard or outside the yard? And it's like they've twisted all the case. It's not appearing to what I've heard from the in-laws. It's appearing to what Keith has told them to put. Because now he wants that issue to go to court. And do you know why he's doing that? Because he's thinking, according to the police officers, they tell me, the people that are there, to say, okay, if you want these people being released, yeah, ask Mariko to come and release them. Why Mariko? Because then Kit has arranged like what he did at Matero to get her locked up. And then from there, what if she's thrown in the prisons for no case she's committed? Because Kit committed the case, but Mariko hasn't committed the case. So because of the bitterness he's feeling now, he's the one who he did wrong. It's not Mariko who did wrong. He's the one who's tortured Mariko. He's the one who's been having affairs while Mariko was still there. But because of silent thinking, oh no, maybe one day you'll change. But he's keeping on making the mistakes. Now she's on hideout. I can't see my daughter unless she calls me.
So right now, you are not in, you can't, for example, you can't leave here and go see her.
No, I can't, because where she's staying, she's from one home to another. And on top of it, where he goes and threatens people, wherever he knows Mariko has passed, there'll be a threat. He just wants to make her life so miserable. But one thing Keith must remember, he caused that fault for himself. It's not Mariko. Mariko has been in that marriage with her 4 children, waiting for him till he had to come out and not even come home. Even today, maybe, because now he's working with the police. I know, police of Montero and the Brooms police station. Those are the people he's working with. But in the beginning, we've gone as far as Central Police. Nothing has been done. And that was just after the same cadres. What if she got killed? What were they going to say with children in the car? If Mr. Mukata can go that far of sending cadres while he's with children, what next can he do? Oh no, she's in hideout, I've never seen her. Even like yesterday, the case that took place at Brooms police station there. He wanted to deny it, but I was there. He did like he didn't know anything, because my nephew was trying to beg with him, telling him, kid, haven't I done favors for you? You can leave my wife to be locked up with a 3-month baby. Bring sureties. Where do we look for sureties about 19 hours when people have been... And they don't tell us immediately to bring sureties. And they knew it was a Friday. Yes, bring the sureties. We brought in a lot of people. No, we need the letter. One officer being controlled by Mr. Mukata, not him taking care of the police station. And if that the officer wants to dare me, I will tell him straight, because you can easily tell if an officer is doing his right duty or if he's listening to both sides of the stories, which he wasn't listening. He was just, yes, and he sends me out in the rain. Sorry. It started raining, and we wanted to get the shield by the police, at the entrance. Get out from here, get out. I looked at him. I said, are you sure? You want me to get wet in the rain with the baby here? And do you know what we had to do? Cross over the road to be under the shade where the shops were until about 23 hours. And then they tell us, sorry, we can't apprehend any women here, so we're taking them to Barristan. Lying to us, it wasn't Barristan. They were taking them to Matero, because Kit likes Matero police station. I don't know if he's got family there, but from what I saw with Mariko, it's Matero. Now that one of the officers has moved to Brooms, that's where now. So this is where our family will be going now. Because now we've got no voice. The media houses came there. Not even one day I was put, because I voiced it out. I told the media houses. And last night, as I was calling one of the media houses, I even asked him. I said, oh, by the way, there's that issue again, another issue with Mr. Mukata, and I'm at Bob Brooms, so I wanted you to cover. Then I said, oh my God, by the way, I want to ask you, what happened to the the Matero issue? Because I was on air, and I said, oh, I'm the one who said, so Mr. Mukata visited your media houses? He says, yes. I said, so he paid you guys. So I'm sorry, I've made a mistake, I'm not going to call you. That's how I let it go.
So you're saying you gave a media house your story?
4 media houses.
4 media houses?
Yes.
None of them aired your story?
None of them.
Because Keith paid them all?
Yes.
Or interfered?
He interfered, but I know it's pay off. Keith likes that. He sends the next party to do that. So I can't say interfered. No.
He paid
them off. Because it's like me coming to you and say, please, can you broadcast this? And then he hears, oh, Rose is at Samanwewa, and then he calls you. And then why don't you aid it for me? What would I think? You've been paid off?
That I was paid off?
Yes, because you can't say, no, I'm dropping it off, because this is very important information. So all the 4 media houses, nothing was broadcasted, not even in the radio, not even on the news. It's been silent, like the police stations. So where else do we go? I must make a phone call and say I want to meet the president so that this issue can be taken care. Or I should meet the Home Affairs. And I must be scared to say every place that I'm going to go, it's going to be a problem, because I don't know how far Kit knows whoever he knows. Because now this is what's making me think. If the officers can send me in the rain at night because I've got a relative in the police station, what next? Something can happen, isn't it?
I would advise you to put all of this in writing and complain to the Minister of Home Affairs and go visit the Minister of Home Affairs.
I'm planning.
You need to do that because what you're describing is a mafia type of arrangement.
Yes, it is.
We are citizens of this country. You are a citizen. Your daughter is a citizen of this country. We all have inalienable rights.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but to be trampled on because somebody knows somebody, that's not right.
That's not right.
That's not fair. So I would encourage you to do that. Rosemary, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your story, and thank you for being honest.
Thank you. You're welcome.
And we wish you all the very best.
You're welcome.
God bless.
Thank you.